So, okay. So this is not doing what I'm supposed to do. And I don't know why. Uh, okay. Share. I don't know if this is, it was only 1 year. I really don't know what is happening here. Like, I don't want this to happen, actually. I want this to be shared. Um, card. But what is happening here? Okay. Are they, what are they seeing? Okay. Am I sharing this one? Or let me do one thing. Let me do this. Okay. And let me close this. And let me do share this one. So yes, now I can share this. So you guys are looking at this one, right? So let me do this. Okay. So let's start with today's class. Okay. I mean, this week's going to be about about emotional intelligence, but effective communication is for my practice actually. So let's go on. Okay. So what is emotional intelligence? So let's watch a short video. Okay. So okay. So what happened? 5. Went here. I don't know if it's still sharing the screen. Yes, it's still sharing. So all right. So I've got a video here. I would like you guys to watch this video. Okay. So let's watch this video together. All right. So, okay. So most of you have heard about IQ and personality, but it's quite, I think it's safe to say that you guys have not heard about emotional EI or emotional intelligence. But as you will see, you will learn about EI, you will realize that indeed EI is even like more important than IQ, if I may say that. Okay, at least it's important. Okay, so it is distinct from intelligence quotient. Okay, so and also it's different or distinct. Okay, a person with higher IQ or intelligence quotient cannot really guarantee if that person is good with other people, empathetic, okay, and can understand what others people may be feeling and so on. Okay, so it's only great if you have a high IQ person with corresponding higher EQ, uh, emotional intelligence. Okay, and also EQ is different from one's personality, right? So in week 5, we'll learn about you guys will take I think a couple of personality quizzes and try to find about your own personality. Okay, the different factors involved in determining like what type of personality you have. Okay, and you guys will find out. But it is your personality type is different from your emotional intelligence. Okay, whether it's high in emotional intelligence or you are low in emotional intelligence. Okay, it's distinct from that as well. All right. So this is again not definition of emotional intelligence. We're just trying to show that emotional intelligence is different from your IQ and also from your personality. All right. Also, another major difference is EI, or some people like to refer to it as EQ. It changes over time. Okay, so you don't like a person like you may you you know, if you, let's say if you are determined as someone with low EI, emotional intelligence, but after you go through different, after go through your life, uh, you can basically better yourself in terms of your emotional maturity, and that in turns would, your EI will change. But it is different from IQ and your personality, which is rather plastic. Okay, it's very rigid, and uh, it stays pretty much the same for a person. Okay. So let's look at let's look at the definition of what is emotional intelligence. So as you can see in the slide here, emotional intelligence is your awareness, okay, of your emotion, okay. So what is happening within you, okay, as well as what is happening with people around you. All right. So some people have a very good intuition about uh, people around them, like what they are feeling and how to respond to the emotional different emotional state of people that they're around them. Okay, some people may not be that efficient or adapt or inept to it. So if you are someone who is good with whatever goes inside you emotion wise, okay, then you are said to have someone with higher emotional intelligence. And in turn, if you are good with recognizing what is happening within you, okay, and if you are able to internalize that, and if you're able to regulate that, the you take like emotions as energies. So if you're able to channel those energies efficiently, then you can basically handle different situations in life, rather than being succumbed or overcome by these emotions. You are able to basically manage your life. All right. So that's one part. Another is dealing with people. Okay. So in terms of your everyday like life, okay, you come across different people. Okay. People come with different emotional states. Okay. Some people friendly may not be, other people may not be like that. But if you are able to handle, okay, different people and different emotional states, all right, that also helps you in improving your relationships with other people. All right. In other words, if you are able to recognize emotions in other people and manage yourself, everything's happening within you. Actually, you're not responsible for managing emotions in other people. All right, that's something we don't actually recommend. That you are responsible for what's happening within you. All right, if you're able to do that, then you are pretty efficient in terms of managing your relationship with other people. All right, you get the idea, right? So one's happening within you, okay, pretty much everything is happening within you. But in one instance, okay, the cause and the result is within you. In another aspect, okay, the cause is somewhere outside, okay, but the resultant thing is within you. All right. So as you can see in this diagram here, okay, so there's like what you can see here, right? All right, let me go back. All right, so let me enable the pointer. So let me do this. So this part here, all right? So let me change this. So what's happening? This pointer. Can I change the ink? Yes, I can. All right, so let me turn this into green. And I don't know if I can. All right, so let me start again. So this part here, all right, so this is something what you actually observe or what you actually feel, okay, what you see, all right? And this part on the top part is what's happening, so your awareness of what is happening within you, right? So this is your awareness of what is happening within you, and this one over here is your awareness of what is happening around you, right? And this over here on the right side, this is something that if you're able to do or not. So if you're able to do, then you are said to have higher emotional intelligence. If you're not, then you would be kind of on the flip side, right? So if you are able to manage your emotions, okay, you are high in EI or EQ, all right? So if you're able to handle other people or emotional states of other people, then you're said to have higher EI. So it has like two aspects, but both related to emotions. That's why it is emotional intelligence. How intelligent you are in not only recognizing the emotional state of yourself, others, and how efficient you are in managing emotions. Again, not only yourself, but of other people as well. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so let me move this further. All right, so self-awareness. So this is the first aspect of emotional intelligence. Okay, so the first, we saw the previous slide, right? So if you are paying attention, this is the first aspect, and let's name this as like a first quadrant. Okay, so this is its first quadrant. So let me enable, maybe like if I can enable, if I can type here, but it's okay. All right, let's not worry about it. All right, so let's take it at second quadrant, third. Uh, in fact, let's do this third, right? So, okay, that's fine. Let's cross it. Let's do it third, and this one is fourth. Okay, so, okay, so let's look at the first quadrant, okay, which is the first part um, of the emotional intelligence, which is self-awareness. Okay, so it is whatever's happening within you. Okay, you are the cause. Okay, and you are the one feeling it. Okay, so the start and the the how would you put it? You are someone who would start it. You are the observer. Okay, so it is. You know, how many of you are familiar with singularity? Okay, so in here, when you talk about self-awareness, everything is within you. All right, the doer and the observer is you. All right, so let's look at the first aspect, which is of the self-awareness, which is introspection. Okay, and it's also termed as self-reflection or observation of your emotional state. All right, okay, so this is so just imagine if you are feeling sad. All right, so you have this 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 awareness, or you are aware that you are sad because something is wrong, and you know, psychologically speaking, there may be some chemicals that are produced, or some chemicals that are not produced in your brain that in turn makes you feel sad, but we're not talking about that right now. But be whatever reason, okay? Let's just, for example, just think that you are sad and you have this awareness of being sad, all right? So taking that, okay, taking that as the stepping stone, let's move on to the second quadrant now, okay? So you know that you are sad, all right? Now comes the second part, okay? So what can you do about it? Okay. And again, there may be some instances, situations where you may feel like you are sad, but you can't really pinpoint, like, why are you sad? Okay. Because you think about it, everything seems to be okay in life, but there is this emptiness within you, and uh, you realize this, you are aware of it, but then you can't really sit down and, just pinpoint on what is really the reason, the cause of this 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 melancholy, all right, the sad feeling, all right? So why am I feeling that? Oftentimes, people may be very busy, all right, because of the nature of this modern world, where people just, they have so many things to do from the moment they wake up, all right? They have like, you know, they go to gym maybe, or they have different obligations to fulfill. So they go to work, come back to work, still hang on to their maybe laptops, or watch TV, like uh, phones and so on. So they can't give enough time for their emotional self. It's a big self, okay? You look at your physical self, and then you have the emotional or psychological self, okay? So if you can't um, give time to your emotional self, then you may be depriving um, your yourself or emotional self what it needs, right? So okay, so with that said, okay, so if you are able to feel or pinpoint the cause, the root cause of any emotional upheaval or emotion in your life, right? So that gives you an opportunity to um, to basically uh, uh, you know help you go over, like move on in life, because if you don't deal with emotions, it stays there. Time can go, time will pass by, but if you don't take care of your any emotional challenges in life, it will be there, okay? It will be there. It's like something following you, okay? You have like a string attached to your back, okay? And as you go by, the string would pick up dirt, okay? So as you walk further and further away, the string with dirt collects more and more dirt. So maybe like 1 year pass by, 5 years pass by, 10 years pass by, and it will accumulate this big ball of just dirt, okay, that you're not um, taking care of it. Like it's only making it harder for you to move forward. All right. So it's always better to take care of any emotional baggages in life. Right. Also, that's with the sad situations in life. So let's talk about some positive emotions. Okay. So those positive emotions you can channel to for your self motivation. All right. So oftentimes when you start something, doing something, let's say um, you start working out, that initial phase would be difficult. Okay, that sense of unfamiliarity. Um, you're you go to work out for a day, and your body parts, your muscles are aching. You have sore muscle, and that can be discouraging for many people. But if you can channel positive energy within yourself, then that will give you self motivation or encouragement, and in that turn, that can be fuel for your self improvement, right? But just compare, just let's take the previous example. Okay, so you've started doing something, and you feel tired, and there's a possibility, a strong possibility of demotivation, and in turn you are not feeling good. Maybe your girlfriend broke up with you. All right, at that time, would you be motivated to do something that you have already started? And for most people, it will be very difficult, all right, understandably so. All right, so again, we can channel positive energy for self motivation and for self improvement. Okay. And it all comes down to aligning our actions with passion. All right. Where our actions align with passion, there is the maximum possibility of successful outcome. All right. Yes. And oftentimes you may not, we may not be able to put our actions where our passion is. Okay. But with the emotional maturity to understand your emotional state, okay, then you are able to bring out positive outcome. All right, so let's move on to next slide. All right, so the other aspects, we talked about the quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So that has to do with the emotional state that's apart from you, okay? Being able to connect with other people, or being able to feel the emotional intelligence of other people around you. So let's look at that. All right, so we have three things here. All right, so the first aspect is empathy. All right, so sounds kind of like similar to sympathy, but empathy is being able to actually feel what other people, you know, they are feeling. All right, so if you have higher emotional intelligence, then you are able to feel, actually feel what other people, you know, are feeling. Okay, so that in turn, okay, helps you to connect with them, right? Yes, versus someone who is not able to, you know, feel what other people may be feeling. So other people may be sad, you don't really have any idea about it, and you can't really, if you joke around them when they're feeling sad, then that may be taken as offensive, something offensive, right? So that's just an example. Okay, so let's move on to the second point here. Okay, so let's say this especially applies to if you're working in a group. Okay, especially for a managerial position. All right, so if you're good with other people, all right, so you are able to get inputs from others, all right, from your team members, versus someone who is not good with other people. Do you think that person will get a lot of feedback or input from other people? All right, so that's a very definite comparison, right? Right. So the more people you can connect, all right, the more data you'll have, and in turns, you'll be able to make better decisions. All right. Okay, the third aspect here is about networking. Okay, networking here is again connecting with other people. You have a finite resources. All right, people have finite resources, but collectively we have many resources, abundant resources. Okay, so if you're able to connect with other people, then if you need any help, all right, so you can connect with other people and share resources, right? That's what networking is, right? So if you're someone who is able to connect with others easily, all right, then you know how to get things done, right? And especially successful managers, they are able to do this. They're able to connect with other people and get things done, right? They are able to get input from others and get things done, right? So that's the second aspect of social awareness of the emotional state, awareness of the emotional states of other people. All right, so let's move on to the fourth and the final quadrant. All right. Okay, so that has to do with the relationship management. So when you are able to, when you're able to empathize with other people, right, that also helps you with connecting with other people, as we saw in the previous slide. Okay, so if you work in a group, all right, and do what is expected, then it helps to basically it helps to easily assimilate with that group, all right? So conformity and easy to get along with versus someone who really doesn't know how to behave in a group dynamics. That person will just stand out, will be treated like a black sheep, all right? Okay. And also, if you are mindful of others' emotional states, okay, so you can take appropriate action, all right, without any reaction. So uh, this again, like if you're someone with higher EI, okay, you are able to manage people, and again, you're not really programming other people, all right. That's something that you have to be careful about. You're not being manipulative of other people, okay. So other people have their own emotional state. You are basically being able to take appropriate action, all right, we are without reacting to whatever the emotional state they may be having at that time. So other person may be angry, right? So that can often cause us to basically react in the similar emotion, okay. So the person, somebody comes to you yelling at you, you know, you get caught in that emotional state, and your first reaction may be to basically yell out, all right, to have that verbal altercation. But if you are someone with higher emotional intelligence, then you basically, uh, would be able to separate the emotion from the person and deal with the emotion rather than react to the person. Okay, so you deal with the situation without breaking any bridge, because you know that you would need other people beyond that temporary um, that situation. All right. Okay. So last point here. Okay, somebody who is able to uh, understand or feel the emotional state of other people and basically able to manage self-regulate his or her emotion is basically confident inside and out. Okay, so there is not that blank spot within in these people. Okay, so there's no need to uh, have uh, that confident issue. Right? They are able to understand other people and basically take appropriate action. So they are natural leaders. Okay, so these are the people whom you see controlling, or controlling it actually gives us a negative connotation. These are the people who can basically manage other people, and they are the natural leaders. Right. Okay. So with that said, okay, so this is the definition of emotional intelligence. Okay, so you have the knowledge of your own emotional state. Like you're able to control your emotional state, and also you are able to motivate yourself. Now, the second part is your empathy. That has to do with empathy, dealing with other, and being able to recognize emotional state of other people, and actually not only recognize but also feel the other person's emotional states. And the fourth part here has to do with being able to manage. You're not, again, when I say manage emotional state, uh, but the source now is outside of you. Okay, but whatever you did, you're doing to yourself. Okay, so when you deal with other people, you are not manipulating other people. You are trying to uh, you know act appropriately to whatever the emotional state is. So in some cases, this slide, the information contained in the slide, you find like the self-control motivation has been separated, but we can really group it together and make it like 4 points here, right? Okay, so let's move in more detail about self-awareness. Okay, so now this one has to do with self-awareness practice. Okay, so the practice that you can do is being aware of your senses. Okay, so maybe whatever is distracting you, whether it's your games, you like computer games, video games you play, the phones and TikTok and whatever it may be. So take time away from that, okay, and give yourself some time, okay. And so in the Eastern culture, we call it meditation, right? Yes. So just be sensitive to your senses. Whatever emotions come within your mind, feel it. You know, try to just observe your senses and feelings and emotions that come within you. It's a good self-awareness practice. Okay, so if you're able to do that, I think you are pretty close to understanding yourself. All right. The second part is explore your weaknesses. Okay. So again, your weaknesses, they have to do with your emotions, right? So you're not good. Let's say the common thing that I see in many students here. So you're not good with in public speaking. Okay, so so most students have this. They think that they feel that public speaking is something that they are not that good at, right? So maybe if you explore on what you're not good at, okay, your emotional state. So what happens when you actually, you know, by this point, like you've come to this bachelor level education. So up to this point, I assume that you had to give some kind of presentation, be it for like in front of like few students or many people. Okay, so if you imagine it, okay, what would your emotional state? Okay, maybe like next time you're giving your presentation. And by the way, in this course as well, you will be giving a presentation. Yes, that's one of the scored or graded assignments, or it's actually the midterm. So when you are giving your presentation, okay, so just try to observe your emotional state, whatever happens within you. Okay, your heartbeat rises. All right, your palms get sweaty. All right, your voice, it starts behaving. You feel something wrong with your voice. Okay, your eyes, you you're not it's very hard to focus or give eye contact, your body language and so on, everything sweating, all these things. Okay, observe it. Okay, so maybe by observing it, okay, so that would give you the self awareness. You are aware of what is happening within you. Okay, all right, next thing is explore your strengths. Okay, you may be good at doing something or anything. All right, so think about what is your emotional state when you're actually doing that, right? Okay, so can anyone tell me, maybe we shall pause this video here, this session here, and all of you can maybe explore on your strength. right? What you're good at, right? What goes within your psyche, your mind, when you're actually doing it. Okay, so maybe again, like from the brain chemistry point of view, there may be some chemicals that you have the euphoria of chemicals, like good chemicals, happy chemicals, but that we put that thing aside. Okay, so we're dealing with emotions. Okay, so what happens within you? Okay, so maybe you can explore these things. So when you're doing something that you like or you feel like you're really good at, what's happening within you? Take this as maybe like spend maybe a minute or two in exploring your weaknesses and your strengths, right? So I see like some of you guys, like I see you playing basketball. So for those of you who are really good in basketball, right, they can maybe like close your eyes and just go through what happens when you can really, when you score points and win a game, right? How do you feel, right? So maybe you can have this as your self-awareness practice as well. And again, everything has to do with identifying emotions, whether it's like good emotions, bad emotions. If you're able to identify what's happening within you, it's the first step in bringing about positive change in you. All right. So if you're afraid, if you have a fear of something, until you actually identify that, okay, put like a pin uh, on a map. All right. So you'll be kind of like lost everywhere. All right. So you need to first identify your emotion. All right. Again, like once that's another self-awareness practice. Another thing would be pay attention to your actions as well. All right. So when you're doing something, be mindful about it. That's actually there's a term called mindfulness. Okay, it is being aware of whatever you're doing. Okay, so if you are speaking, be aware of it. I'm speaking right now. So if you're listening to me, be aware of my voice that is reaching your ears. All right. So if you're writing, be aware of your writing. If you're eating, be aware of your eating. So the next exercise is pay attention to your reactions. Right, it's important. So oftentimes we react blindly, and only later on we uh, we just regret saying, okay, how could I do that? I can't really do it. So if you are able to pay attention to when you actually start reacting to something, maybe you can catch yourself and stop there, put the brake, and don't don't make the matter any worse. All right. So again, being aware, that's the first the aspect here, right? That's the self-awareness practice. And lastly, asking yourself and also being aware of it actually. If you're avoiding any situations or sensations, right? Usually when situations are not good, that we don't like, then we tend to avoid it. Okay, a good emotional intelligent self-awareness practice would be not trying to avoid some awful or cringe like awful situations. Like again, like again, it happens to me as well. Like sometimes watch a video and it's very cringy. All right, so uh, if you have something that you don't feel like doing, maybe take notice of it. Do it uh, being aware of it. All right. So next time, if with enough practice, if that thing happens again, then you will not feel the same. The strength of the reaction or the emotions that may go through you will not be that strong anymore. Okay. So that's a good practice, I think. All right. So let's look at few ways that you can expand your emotional intelligence. Okay. So uh, you can practice on meditation, actually. That's a good way of expanding your emotional intelligence, because by meditation you are actually being aware of your own emotional state. Okay, so you have something going on that's wrong. You want something, but you're not sure about what you want. Maybe through meditation and being and seeking within yourself, perhaps you'll find what you're looking at, what you're searching for, and that in turn um, will actually help you. Okay, and also another is emotional control, and maybe you can find some self motivation when you're actually lacking. People who are depressed, they severely lack self motivation, even to do simple things in life, right? So if you can seek or find that positive energy within yourself, that can be that string that can pull you up, right? Give you that energy, that positive energy to get forward in life. Yep. And you can acknowledge your weaknesses again, as we discussed in the previous slide. Humility, very important. Okay. Uh, a person with high emotional state or emotional intelligence, actually, they are humble, humble, respectful, treat other people right. Okay. Not someone who is egomaniac. It's like a polar opposite of what we're talking about here. Okay. And again, all of these would help you, go ahead in life, right? So being able to achieve great things in life has to do with a lot, has to do a lot with how you are with other people, right? Okay, so all of these will help you in increasing the level of happiness in your life. Okay, another aspect here, better relationships. Okay, so if you're able to basically um, react to or act or manage other people, different people, different emotional states, if you're able to deal with that, then it helps you with getting along with other people. Okay, as we mentioned previously, in life we need things. Okay, we are a social creature, so we all have something, and we need resources in life. So if you are able to connect with others and share resources, then again, like it increases the level of happiness, but also increase the relation. It in turn makes a relationship, social relationship, better. All right. So again, it all boils down to the level of happiness. Okay. A person with higher EI, they are happy overall. Right. Okay. So previously, how to expand EI. All right. Okay. So let's look at a few other um, practices here, how you can maybe expand your EI. So the next point is cultivate the attitude of gratitude. Okay. So basically, being grateful of what you have. All right. Being thankful for what you have. So you may not feel like so when something goes wrong, it's easy to basically feel bad and look at compare yourself with other people, and that's that's the slippery slope actually when you compare yourself with other people, because again, in this world, like 7+ billion people, there will be like countless other people who maybe who will be better than you. Okay, so comparing is not a good strategy in living. All right, so we all are unique, and that's the first thing that you need to accept. Okay, you're better in your own ways. There may be things that you may be missing, but you comparing that with other people will not make your situation any better, right? But being thankful of what you have and finding that positive energy to bring about positive changes in your life, that can actually help you in getting ahead in life. Okay, then somebody who is always complaining, uh, right, just full of complaints. uh, if you have so much negativity within you, then the level of satisfaction will not be that good versus someone who is grateful for what he or she has, right? Okay. Um, Another thing would be um, basically being able or being willing to be willing to try. Okay. So if you have this courage within you, all right, to basically that again, the courage comes from being able to being not being disheartened by different emotional states. Okay, you're able to recognize emotional states and being able to handle those emotional states. So if you're like that, then you are better able to accept challenges in life. Because in life, it's not always good, not always bad. Okay, it's like ups and downs. So if you are able to control or manage your negative emotions, then you are able to actually um, go through um, any challenges in life. Okay, so these are the people who will think that okay, any adversities they are only temporary, right? So you go through bad experience or bad phase in life, and after some time, that phase you go through that, and it changes into hopefully something good. You have that attitude, right? And you don't have this fear or this resistance of going through life, different things in life, all right? Okay. And these are the people who actually can go ahead in life despite setbacks or initial resistance, that inertia. Yeah. So less surprises in life. Okay. And they're able to deal with pretty much anything that comes that life throws at them. All right. So social awareness. All right. So these slides basically being able to um, understand different hand gestures. Okay, that helps understanding or being able to have the social awareness, right? So if being able to read what emotional state a person may be going through by looking at their faces, sad, happy, angry, disappointed, okay, different emotional states. All right, so there's another video. Maybe I'll put the video in a separate link there so you guys can watch the video. All right, so we are at the we are so basically it's another part of today's lecture here. Okay, the use of the gestures. Okay, so again, so this has to do with emotional intelligence because again, there's no universality of even the same hand gestures. Okay, one may be like a normal thing in one culture, one signifies something, but in another culture it may be repugnant or insulting, right? So being aware of that also helps you in connecting with people across the cultural paradigm now. Uh, yes, so being so it's just yes, I think like previously we had some hand gesture uh, slide with different hand gestures. So being able to um, understand them and their relevancy in different cultures may help you across the cultures. Okay, so again, more examples here. You guys can read it. Okay, the smile also gets a. So it says here, Japanese may smile to mask negative emotions as anger, confusion, and embarrassment. So in other cultures, people only smile when to actually greet people that they know, or in maybe in some similar situations. All right. So again, same emotional reaction, but different interpretation depending on different cultures. So a person with higher emotional intelligence is someone who are able to basically able to filter out all of these, okay, and react in different situations differently. All right, so some more hand gestures. The OK sign means something obscene in Brazil, Germany, and Russia. I'm sure you guys have uh, seen the OK sign, right? You can search online for that. But in Japan, okay, it means money. Okay, so this means money, and this means zero in France, right? There's more examples here. Okay. Uh, actually, in Nepal, you usually don't give something with your left hand, right? So you want, especially if you are giving money to someone, then you'd use your right hand, okay? Because left hand would be kind of like a term, like would be kind of deemed rude or unacceptable. Okay, so different cultures, different norms, and all that. So just be aware of that, and that might help you in becoming or increasing your emotional state, emotional intelligence, right? Okay, has do it again. The third example here in this slide. So in Bulgaria and Greece, nodding the head means no. So actually, this nodding means no. And in some other cultures, people would nod to indicate that they are listening to what you have to say. Especially, I think in India, they actually nod, saying you are agreeing. Uh, they are agreeing with you. Okay. So again, most of us would say, okay, nod mean yes, but again, in other cultures, it may be different. So perhaps the awareness will help you in connecting with other people. Some more examples here. Hand waving while keeping your fingers static can mean no. No, right? So your fingers are static. Uh, so in different cultures. So in some South American African culture, it can also be aggressive. So again, do some research on that and try to learn more about it. Okay. So the last example here, holding up one finger can mean the number two in some European countries. So one, that's two, as they start counting from the thumb. Okay. But in Japan, it signifies number four to count from the little finger. So kind of confusing here. But again, this all helps you to connect with people from different backgrounds, right? Okay, so here's again, like if you are curious about, like how you are with regards to emotional intelligence, maybe you can take this quiz here. You can see the link there, ihhp.com / free dash EQ dash quiz. Take that quiz and see how you are with your emotional intelligence. Okay, and also consider your strengths and weaknesses. I'm sure you have some weaknesses and strengths, and also think about what you can do about your weaknesses. Okay, surely you want to change yourself, right? And if you are really interested in this, there's a book by the person who actually coined this term, emotional intelligence, Daniel Goldman. So make sure you read that book. You can search online for the book, and if you're really interested, you can buy a hard copy as well, right? And also from the previous week, you can actually search for the initial audit for this course. Okay, there's different fields there. You can rate yourself from 1 to 5, and also comment on why you rate yourself with that. Okay, be sure to do that. That's included in your portfolio. So that's something that's mandatory. Do that, and I will see you next time. All right, thank you.